Good morning, friends. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Em, and this is going to be week 4 of Clear Your Shit. Clear Your Shit is a storied readathon where the goal is to read through your physical TBR. I will link all the creator and all the website thingies down below so you can go check it out. I've also done vlogs for week 1, 2, and 3. I'll link those below as well if you want to see what I read for those prompts. This week's going to be a little funky because it's the last week of Clear Your Shit. It's also the last week of June, and so I'm going to try and Frankenstein monster together Clear Your Shit with ketchup and pickles, which is the monthly reset vlog that I do where I'm just trying to catch up on all the things that I was supposed to read and also maybe pick some things that I didn't put on my TBR but really want to read. So we'll see how this goes. There are 2 prompts for Clear Your Shit, and so I'm going to try and get through those prompts first, and if I read fast enough then try to catch up on my TBR a little bit because I have not done a good job about reading my TBR, but what else is new? So the prompt that I'm going to be starting with for Clear Your Shit is to read an exciting book, and I'm going to read Phantasma by Kaylee Smith, finally. I just got the audiobook for this from the library. I have already read the first 5 chapters. I read them a while ago because I got this from the library because I was curious because it's romantasy, but it's romantasy horror from what I understand. And I had on hold forever because it's super popular. Got it from the library, put off reading it for too long, read the first 5 chapters, really liked them, then had to give the book back. And so then I bought it when I was at a bookstore because that's what you do. And then I got the audiobook from the library last week. So we're going to read it. And my battery is dying, so I'm gonna go start this book and I'll come back and update you once my battery is recharged. Okay? Hey, welcome to the vlog. Happy Monday. It's pretty early in the morning, but I did start Phantasma yesterday. And I didn't really update you yesterday because yesterday was a weird day. I was in a weird mood. I don't know if it was Sunday scaries. I don't know if it was because I didn't get enough sleep the night before, but I was in a mood, but I'm better now. I mean, I do have to go to work in a few hours, so that part's not great. But anyways, this is a really fast book to read and to listen to an audio. So I'm 200 pages in, and I haven't listened to it that much. I went for a 40-minute walk yesterday and I listened to it a little bit while I was cleaning, and then I just got home from the gym and I listened to it while I was doing my workout, which was only maybe 35 minutes, 40 minutes. I'm not a linger at the gym type of girl. I'm a get in and get out type of girl. So I haven't invested that much time, but the narrator at the regular speed talks so slow. So I'm able to, and I don't know if she talks that slow or if she slows it down post-production or the audiobook company slows it down post-production. But anyways, I'm able to listen at 2.5 speed, and it sounds like most audiobooks do at two times speed. So I don't know what that's about, but I'm flying through this. But this is about Ophelia and her sister Genevieve, and they live in New Orleans. And at the beginning of the book, their mother, who is a necromancer, dies unexpectedly, seemingly from a heart attack. And when she dies, her necromantic powers pass to Ophelia, and then they very quickly come to discover that their mother was in debt, and maybe let me see if I can fix my lighting real quick. I don't know if that's better. It might just be the hat. Anyways, so they come to find out that their mother is in debt and their house that they've lived in is going to be repossessed by the bank and torn down to build a hotel or something. And shortly after that, Ophelia's sister Genevieve disappears, and Ophelia thinks she's gone into this competition called Phantasma. And so she follows her in to save her sister, but then the only way for Ophelia to save Genevieve is for her to win Phantasma. And Phantasma is this big house, and it's a competition, and you have to work your way through the 9 levels of hell. And she makes a alliance with a demon in Phantasma named Blackwell pretty early on, and so she's working her way through the competition. He's helping her. Ophelia also has OCD, and so it's been really interesting how that is written and portrayed. I don't know really anything about OCD, so I'm not going to speak to whether or not it's good representation, but it is here. And, or like it exists in this book. Not that, never mind. And I think it's fine. I'm not hooked. I'm not obsessed. It's very easy to read, so I'm having a fun time. It does lean into some more horror elements, which I think is fun. And I will say I don't think I'm buying the romance, or I guess it's not even a romance yet, but like the attraction between Ophelia and Blackwell. I'm not totally buying it. It feels like it's happened real fast, and especially in like such dire circumstances. I kind of wish it was more of a slow burn, just because, like, fighting for your life, girl. I don't know why are you making out right now when you are literally fighting for your life? But that's okay. Whatever, it's fine. She and Blackwell have made a bargain on top of the Phantasma stuff with their alliance. So not only does she have to like win the competition, but since she also has to fulfill her bargain with Blackwell. So there's a lot of stuff going on. I think it's very exciting and well paced so far. So I'll let you know how it goes, but I'm utterly delighted that I'm 200 pages in already. How long is this book actually? Is it 500 pages? Oh, it's just shy of 200 pages. 200 pages, like with the, no, not 200, my gosh. It's not even 500 pages, like including the acknowledgements. So that is great. But for now, I need to eat breakfast. I'm so hungry. And then let's get ready for work and, you know, Monday. But at least I have this to look forward to when I get home. So that's great. It's still Monday. It's like the end of the day, but I had a thought that I wanted to say before I forgot it. Even though this is categorized as like a dark fantasy romance, I like that it's the competition that's dark and the situation and not the romance. Because I'm not actually a fan of dark romance, but I like that this romance isn't toxic or problematic. It's definitely complicated, like with him being a demon and just like the situation that he's in within Phantasma, and of course the situation that Ophelia is in with the state that her family is in and the reasons that she entered Phantasma. But their relationship is like sweet and fun and a little playful, even though the situations that they're in are pretty dire. So I like that the dark isn't the dynamic of their relationship, it's the competition. And I think the competition is really, really well done and really fun and exciting. And I think Kaylee Smith like did a really good job thinking out this competition thus far. I mean, y'all, I started this yesterday. And I'm on page, I'm about to hit 300 pages. And I don't feel like I'm spending a ton of time reading it. So I love how fast it is. I'm not sure how it's going to end or like what is going to happen, which is great because even though I really liked Spark of the Everflame, which I read last month, and it's also a fantasy romance, but like totally different everything. Even though I really enjoyed that one, it was really predictable. Like I knew what was going to happen. I was having fun, but I knew what was going to happen. And I like that this is also fun and I have no idea what's going to happen. So that's fun. I mean, I predicted that Blackwell was going to be a character that was mentioned because there's like a lot of mystery around who Blackwell is and why he's in Phantasma. And I was wrong. They revealed that name was actually a different character. So I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes from here. I don't know if I buy the romance. I might buy it more as we get in, and I feel like they have more of a bond, but I'm enjoying it. All right, the AC's on. Hopefully it's not too loud. It's the next day. Hi, hello, how are you? Now I care. Oh, now I'm in it. I am officially at, almost 400 pages invested in the romance, which is lovely. And oh, it's devastating. Absolutely devastating. And I'm eating it up. It's so good. I don't want to talk to you anymore because I want to go read. Okay, bye. finished Phantasma. Also, the kids are watching Newsies, so hopefully you don't hear that in the background. Hopefully I can edit that out. But finished it. Oh, I'm waffling between like a 4 and a 4.25, which sounds really nitpicky, but I'm measuring this against my enjoyment for Spark of the Everflame, which I gave a 4 and I had a really fun time with. And I did have a really fun time with this. I didn't love the ending. I felt like it wrapped up really fast, which is weird because it's like a 500-page book. I mean, not quite, but basically. And I definitely enjoyed the competition of this more than I like the romance. Unfortunately, like right after I updated you, I had to start making dinner, and so I switched to the audiobook, and there were a couple of steamy scenes, and the steamy scenes in the audiobook, like the narrator, like she did such a good job for the book, but she made sounds during one of the steamy scenes, and it like took me right out. And I'm not gonna, like, I don't want an actor's performance choice to affect how like I felt about the rest of the book, because I did largely read this instead of listen to it, and I like the competition, I like the horror elements. I was really debating in the middle if I was gonna continue on and read Enchantra, because I know that one just came out and follows Genevieve, Ophelia's sister, and we don't get a lot of Genevieve in the book. She's in the beginning a little bit, and she's kind of a brat, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to read her book because I don't like her very much. And then she was in the end, and I liked her more in the end, so I think I am going to read Enchantra. I've also seen some reviews that say from people who really liked Phantasma that they think Enchantra is better, so that's enticing. But yeah, I didn't love the ending. I didn't love how quickly it wrapped up. I didn't love the twist. It felt, I don't know, just the way it was revealed, I think is the way I didn't like it. I felt abrupt and convenient. I will also back up every person who said they hate the nickname he has for her. I also hated it, and it was used too much. And when you find out why he calls her that nickname, I liked it even less, if that was possible. But there wasn't like an annoying, like second tier love interest like there is in Spark of the Everflame. But I don't know, maybe if I just measure them by pros and cons, they probably have the same amount for me personally. So I guess this is a 4. It's a 4. I had a fun time. It's really entertaining. There is a lot of gore, so if you're like not a fan of gore, I don't know, maybe like tread cautiously, because there was a lot of body horror in this, but I really liked it. I liked all the competitions. Like I said, I do think the competitions got less intense right at the end, which is weird because you think it would get more intense the closer you get to like the 9th level, and the final level. But anyways, yeah, this was a fun time. I'm really glad I finally picked it up. So let's talk a little bit about the ketchup and pickles part of this vlog, since I've now finished a Clear Your Shit prompt. I have one more to go, but I was supposed to read Wives and Daughters by Elizabeth Gaskell for this month for my year of Butler and Gaskell. However, Wives and Daughters is 700 pages, and I did not take that into account, and I procrastinated it too long, and I don't want to force myself to read that in less than a week now. I have like 6 days. I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm gonna make better choices. So I was debating just not reading a Butler book this month and just calling it a wash, but I was looking around to see if she had any more like novella-length books, and she does. She has Cranford, which is like 166 pages, and it's set in this like little town called Cranford where there are no men. Like, men move in, and then men will move in like with their wives or their families, and then they either get sick and die or inexplicably move away. Like, men just aren't in this town. It's entirely run by women, and they're very happy with that. And I think we're going to be following a woman named Jessie, whose father has just, like, they moved to Cranford very recently, and he very heroically rescues a child from an oncoming train and is killed. And her sister is also deathly ill and is about to pass as well. And I think there's going to be a romance between Jessie and military officer who is known in Cranford, but It's very funny, very like tongue-in-cheek writing. I've read like 2 chapters, so I definitely need to prioritize that one. So I'm gonna be working on that as well. And then I also need to read Forget Me Not, which is a middle grade or YA. It's a novel in verse about a girl who has Tourette's. I just got it from the library today. I picked it up just like 2 hours ago. And so I need to read that. I'm trying to find my reading journal, trying to find the page with all the reading challenges that I do every month. Okay. And then I need to, what else do I need to read? I just realized I think I missed the Solid State book club meeting. Dang it. Anyways, I'm going to focus on working on Cranford and Forget Me Not, and then I'll get more organized and come back and tell you what other things I need to read for this month. And then what else do I need to do? Oh, and then we need to pick the last book for this month for Clear Your Shit. There's one prompt left, and I believe it's to read a book that has green on the cover. Yeah, a book with green on the cover. So I need to go eat dinner, and we have some lessons tonight and do all the mom things, and then I'll come back when I've figured my shit out. Okay, we've had dinner. The kids are back watching Newsies. I've gotten my life a little bit organized, so let's talk through this. I'm going to continue to work on Cranford a little bit at a time. I also have the audiobook, so I'll try to find some time in the next few days to sit down and really focus on it. Tomorrow, I am going to try to read Forget Me Not all in one sitting. This is the library says it's YA, so I'm going to say it's YA. This is the YA book that's in verse. This is for the buzzword reading challenge for June. The prompt is to read a book with a memory word in the title, and this was what I picked. This has been on my radar for a really, really long time. Like, I think since I first joined Bookstagram, which was like 2017, 2018, and this was published in 2017. Okay, so I probably heard about it shortly after it was published. And then I also, for the buzzword cover challenge, need to read a book with a celestial thing on the cover, a moon, stars, planets, whatever. And then for Clear Shit, I need to read a book with green on the cover. And I think I found a book that gets both prompts done, which is what I was looking for. I just kind of went through the shelves really fast. The struggle was a lot of the books that I have that are green I've already read. And it has to be something I haven't read yet. I think I'm going to start When the Tides Held the Moon by Vanessa Vita Kelly. So you have some green in the merman, and then there's the moon on the cover. And this is like historical fantasy, which is like my favorite little subgenre. And it takes place on Coney Island in I think 1929 or something like that. Oh, not even that, 1910s. And we're following a man who works at like this carnival fair situation on Coney Island, and he falls in love with a mermaid. I have the audiobook because it was an ALC on Libro FM, and then I ordered it from Aardvark Book Club, so I'm super excited. Also, this helps me, I love this color combination. Aardvark Book Club always picks the best color combinations for the naked hardcovers. Ooh, and look at the spine. It looks so pretty. Anyways, I have had like the, not goal, but like thing in the back of my head that I really need to start prioritizing my Aardvark Book Club books because they are starting to pile up, and that is not what I want. I do not want a bunch of books I haven't read from Aardvark. Speaking of new books, not really, but go with me on this. I did break my book buying ban today. If you watched my June TBR, and I think I've mentioned it in a couple of other videos, my book bringing home practices have gotten a little out of control, and July is my birthday month, so I know I needed to like rein it back in June, so I put myself on a book buying ban with the exception of my Aardvark Book Club book for the month. And then I found out that a book I have been highly anticipating for years came out today, and I felt like that was a worthy reason to break my book buying ban. And it is book 4 in the Nevermore series. It's finally out. I don't love this cover, honestly. I don't know if they switched artists or what, but this is, I think, maybe my least favorite. But this is an adorable, not an adorable, this is an incredible middle grade series. The first book is Nevermore. There's more of a thing to that because it's always like the name of the book and then like a little subtitle. So this is Silverborn, The Mystery of Morgan Crow. In book 1, we meet Morgan Crow, who is like 10 or 13, and she has been cursed all of her life and thought that she is supposed to die on her birthday. Oh, maybe she's 13. It doesn't matter. Anyways. And then on the night of the birthday, before she's supposed to die, this man named, do I remember his name? It's been so long. His name's Jupiter. I don't remember his full name. I love him dearly. Like, honestly, it's kind of horrible that I don't remember what his full name is. But anyways, this man named Jupiter shows up and brings Morgan from her world into this magical world and sponsors her to go attend this magical school. And it's such a good series. I love it so much. And I think Jessica Townsend is such a great writer. She unfortunately is also a slow writer. Oh, I love this color combo too. Anyways, so you have to wait a long time in between the books, but it's okay. I'm just happy that this is out, that I can read it, and totally worth breaking my book buying ban for my lovely Morgan. So anyways, okay, so those are the reading plans. I feel a little bit better now. I feel like we're under control a little bit, and I can move forward with Forget Me Not tomorrow. I did not actually update you yesterday, but I did read Forget Me Not. This was a really fast read. I think maybe I read it in 2 sittings because I read it while my youngest was at swim Tuesday night, and then yesterday I think I finished it in like 45 minutes, so super fast. And I think this is one of those books that could like straddle middle grade and YA, but we're following Calliope, and I don't know that we actually get how old she is. She's in middle school. So yeah, I think this could go into middle grade. And Calliope's father died when she was little, and her mom just flits from boyfriend to boyfriend and can never not be in a relationship. And every time she breaks up with a boyfriend, they move. And so Calliope's been to like 11 schools in a ridiculously short amount of time. And she also has Tourette's, and her mother and the doctor that diagnosed her have both told her not to tell anybody because there's a lot of stigma and misunderstanding around Tourette's, and so she just like keeps it to herself. But you know, she can't control her tics, and so she tries to suppress and she tries to suppress, and then they come out. And so she starts, anyways, she moves in this new apartment. She meets a boy who lives in the apartment, and they start to get along really well. And another thing about Calliope is she's never had a best friend. So she meets this boy named Jin who lives in, or Jinsong, who lives in this apartment building with that she's in, and they hit it off, and then they get to school and they're in the same class, and he really wants to be her friend, but the other kids start making fun of her almost right away for her tics, and Jinsong kind of caves to the peer pressure and really struggles with whether he wants to be true to himself and be her friend, and like risk getting laughed at by his classmates, or whether or not he wants to go with what everybody else is doing but then feel like a horrible person on the inside. So it's really about Calliope and Jinsong's friendship, and I was a little confused at first because I thought it was just going to be from Calliope's POV, but there's 2 perspectives, and it took me a while to pick up on this. But Calliope's are in verse, and then Jinsong's are in standard novel text, or prose. There we go, that's the word. His POV is in prose. And I thought this was really lovely story about friendship and all those things. I found it incredibly difficult to read as a parent because watching Calliope's mom make the choices that she does without, I don't know, I never doubted that she loved Calliope, but she just didn't parent in a way that I would ever parent, and it was really frustrating to read, especially because you're in Calliope's point of view, and Calliope is really upset with the things that her mother is doing and the decisions she's making without consulting like her teenage daughter. Anyways, really good. I really liked it. I'm giving it a 4-star, and just because it wasn't clear that we were getting 2 POVs. It took me a minute to figure out what was going on and how to differentiate between the two, and I just feel like maybe that could have been communicated a little bit more clearly. I think it also would have helped if like the synopsis had indicated that you're getting dual POVs, but instead it's just all about Calliope, and they don't even mention Jinsong by name. And so yeah, I wish that had been communicated a little bit clearly, but otherwise really great. Very well done. Very good debut. I don't know if she's written anything else since then. Also, the author has Tourette's, and so there's like an author's note in the back about her process of getting diagnosed as an adult and the things that she was told by her doctor and how she really wants to like break that stigma and like misconception of what it actually is like to have Tourette's. So definitely recommend. And then I'm made a little bit more progress on Cranford. I think I have to read 2 chapters a day if I want to finish it by the end of the day on Monday, which is the end of the month. So I'm going to kind of keep to that schedule. Maybe I'll read more, but a minimum 2 chapters. It's fine. It's not my favorite. I'm thinking Elizabeth Gaskell maybe like a one-hit wonder for me, where North and South is really the one that I love and everything else is just fine. I do appreciate that this one has a very different tone than the other 2 books I've read by her. It's a lot more silly, tongue-in-cheek, kind of poking fun at a certain type of novel from the time. So I'll keep working on that. And then I only read the prologue in chapter 1 of When the Tides Held the Moon last night, but I liked what I read so far. It's very easy to read. And I do have the audiobook, but I've been noticing lately, and I didn't used to have this problem, but when I pick up an audiobook, even if I'm loving reading the book physically, I have a level of disconnect when I'm listening to the book on audio. And again, didn't used to have this problem, and I'm not quite sure what to do about it. I don't know if I'm just listening to them a little too fast and I need to just slow it down, but I'm also, if I like have the speed too slow, I get really bored and impatient. And so that's why I tend to bump them up as fast as I do, is to keep my interest there and to make it a more of like a conversational speed, at least to my ears. And as somebody whose formative years are spent watching Gilmore Girls, like I can listen to fast talkers. It doesn't bother me. I retain the information just fine. But yeah, I'm just feeling really disconnected from the stories lately if I listen to them on audio. So I might try to just read this one physically. I would like to try the audiobook just to see what the narrator is like so that I can give that kind of feedback, but I really want to like this, so I'm going to try and just read it physically as much as possible. But the first chapter, we meet our main character, Benny, who is from Puerto Rico, and he has moved to New York following the death of his grandma, who died from tuberculosis, and he's a welder? It's not a welder. I guess a blacksmith, but he does iron work. And so he works in this factory, and because he is Puerto Rican, he is looked down upon and he is made fun of and has to put up with a lot of prejudice from the Irish, I think largely Irish iron workers. And he's commissioned to build this tank, and he does it and it's beautiful and the client loves it, and then the foreman takes credit for it. And then shortly after that, Benny burns his hand while he is working, and if because this is the 1910s, if you injure yourself, you're automatically fired. So now Benny finds himself without a job, and it's the only job he's ever had while he's lived in New York City. So I think he's going to make his way to the sideshow that commissioned the tank and start working for them, but I've just gotten to where he has lost his job. And then the next chapter is called The Merman. So there's like this, like the prologue, I think, yeah, so there's like these interstitial things in between each chapter. So the one at the very beginning of the book was about a hurricane in Puerto Rico, and then this one is called The Merman. So I don't know if these are stories or if they're points of view. One is from, like, if the first one is from Benny, and then the second one is from the point of view of the merman that he's going to meet, Rio. But they're told in a much more like lyrical, poetic kind of style than the prose in the regular chapters. But I'll let you know more as I go. I do really like it. And there are illustrations, which I think are really pretty. They're not like full page. Wait, maybe they are. Okay, well, this one, they're not full page, but there are illustrations. And they're really pretty. And I'm liking it. So I'm going to go. Hopefully I'll read more today. I do have to work. Same old song and dance. But yeah, here's hoping I can make some more progress on my books. Did I mention? Oh yeah, this is my clear the shit prompt. Clear your shit prompt. Wow, clear your shit prompt. Ketchup and pickles. I think I said that already. Okay, bye. Oh my gosh, friends. Okay, I look like shit, and it's been like 3 days. I am sick. I started to feel sick on Friday. I think technically I was feeling sick in the morning, but I was in denial. And then by the time it got around to dinner time, I like had chills. I didn't have a fever though, and I have this cough that is really annoying. But this has been kind of like a bug that's been going around where the only like obvious symptom is a cough. 2 of my kids have had it, granted a while ago, like one at the end of May, and the other had it like right as school was getting out, which was like 2 weeks ago. But my students like it's been rotating through my students, so I guess it was only a matter of time. So I don't feel great. I didn't sleep well last night. My family is gone for most of the day doing like family stuff that I was supposed to go and do too with extended family, but because I'm sick, I'm not going. And because I've been sick, a hardcover is really uncomfortable to hold when you're lying down. So I haven't read When the Tides Held the Moon since Friday. I didn't read it at all yesterday. And I have kept up with my 2 chapters a day of Cranford because it's on my Kobo and I have the audiobook. So it's been easy to listen to, but I don't like the way, like on this audiobook, this is dual narrators, and I haven't heard the one who does Rio yet. I've only heard the one that does Benny, but I didn't care for how that narrator was doing the women's voices, and there's a lot of women characters in this, and so I just haven't wanted to listen to it on audio. But so I'm still where I was when I last updated you, I think. Maybe. I'll have to go back and watch the footage because I don't even remember if I've updated you. I'm just shy of 100 pages. So Benny has like gotten a job with this amusement park and he's living in a boarding house with the other people who are part of, I can't remember what the other word is for it, like the curiosities. So like think The Greatest Showman. So like 2 brothers who pretend to be conjoined twins, the strongest man in the world, the fat lady, like that kind of show. And so we're getting to know all those characters, and I am loving those characters. I could kind of take or leave Benny. Like I'm sure I'll grow to like him more, but he doesn't feel as vibrant as the side characters do. They feel like what a great found family already off the gate. Rio hasn't really been a character yet, so I'm interested to get more from his perspective, but he has been captured and is now in the cage at the amusement park. And the amusement park is losing money and is being like has new competition, and the new amusement park is bigger and flashier and all the things. So they're trying to bring back more customers and make it exciting again. Like I said, I didn't sleep well last night, and so I'm really hoping I can take a nap, but I don't feel that tired yet. We'll see. I'm starting to get like the body aches and the chills again, so maybe a nap is in my future. But while I'm still feeling kind of awake, I'm gonna try and read some more of this before I take a nap. So that is the plan. And now that I be getting sick through a wrench into the works, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish this by the end of tomorrow, which is the last day of June and the last day of Clear Your Shit. But I'm gonna do my best, I guess. Okay, I read about 45 pages in 4 minutes. Hello. Benny has asthma, and there's been another thing that happened earlier that was unusual, and I have no idea if I'm right or if I'm wrong, but what if editing Emily? So I'm not fully accurate in my prediction, but I'm not wrong. So I'm gonna put spoiler on the screen, and if you don't want to know anything about the book, you can mute me. And then when the spoiler goes away, you're safe to like turn up the volume if you want to go into this book not knowing anything. Because he doesn't remember his childhood. He was, his parents died in a hurricane, and he was found by his Titi Luz, who is actually his aunt. But she raised him and adopted him basically. And then when she died of TB, that's when Benny came to New York. What if Benny is a merman? Because I'm trying to think of how this book could end with an HEA if we have a mermaid and a human. And I don't think Rio is going to turn into a human, because I don't think we have like that kind of magic, but maybe. But I don't know. Maybe that's he doesn't actually have asthma. His just lungs aren't supposed to be breathing air. And so that's why they fail him. Anyways, just throwing that out there. I have no idea if I'm right or if I'm wrong. I'm only 140 pages in. We'll see. We've got a lot more scenes with Benny and Rio, and I'm liking it a lot more. Like, I like their interactions together. I'm going to finish this chapter that I'm in the middle of. And then I think I'm going to turn on some, like, YouTube and try to sleep. I don't just want to like lie here and wait for sleep, because that's its own unique form of torture, and I did that enough last night. So I'll turn on a couple. I have like a major backlog of YouTube videos that I want to watch, so I'll just turn them on and listen to them and close my eyes. But I do want to finish this chapter first. The artwork, before I go, do they say who did the art? Oh, Vanessa Vita-Kelly did the art. The art in this book is beautiful, and I really like it when, like, sometimes it takes up a whole page, but sometimes it interrupts the text. I had one earlier. And I just think it's so pretty, and I wish more adult books had art in them. Also, I'm feeling, granted I do not have asthma, but I'm feeling a lot of kinship with Benny when he has an asthma attack, and I am also here hacking. Like, look at that. Isn't that so pretty? I love it. It's enough yapping before I start coughing too much. I definitely thought my battery had died, and then realized I just hadn't put my SD card back in the camera yet. Hi, it's the next day. I am kind of better. I got a fever again last night, and then this morning, it wasn't, I don't know, it was like 99 degrees, so not like a fever, but not my base temperature either. I called in sick to work because I definitely don't feel back to normal, and I'm coughing a lot, and I work with small children, and that is not the vibe I want to bring to my classes. But of course I have like major millennial guilt anytime I have to call out of work, which is stupid. I understand that. I'm working on it because I've been sick and I was home all morning. I managed to finish. Actually, I finished both books. I finished Cranford yesterday because I got to the point where my eyes were tired and I couldn't read anymore, but just laying down was too boring. So I listened to the rest of it on audio. I'm giving it a 3 stars. It was fine. Not my favorite classic, not even my favorite Gaskell, but I really liked how it kind of felt like satire at times, and it's really kind of like slice of life, and then there's a tragedy that happens and you get to watch this community like come together. I don't know how the no men thing what the point of that was at the beginning, because there were like so many men in this book, but it's fine. I read it, and now I can like emotionally prepare to read the 700 page book in August. And then I finished When the Tides Held the Moon just now, and I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars. My production wasn't really accurate. Yeah, I'm just gonna say there. I wasn't right. But I did really like this. It is so slow burn, so just keep that in mind. Like, yes, this is a romance, but like I wouldn't say the romance is the main plot. I mean, it's a big part of the plot. If you took the romance out, the story definitely wouldn't be the same. But I think this book really shines for me in the historical elements, because this is definitely rooted in like 1910s Brooklyn. Vanessa Vita-Kelly is really exposing how immigrants are treated, just how people of color have always been treated in the US, and the lie of the land of opportunity that the United States is, where it's only the land of opportunity if you look a certain way, have the right private parts, and make the right amount of money. And for everyone else, it's just like can feel like constant suffering. Not always, but you know, sometimes that can feel that way. And I really liked that she focused on that. I liked that she brought real events. The author's note at the end is really great, where she talks about like the real things that happened in this book. My middle kid was in the shower, so if you can hear the fan, that's what that is. And I really like that. And I thought the found family of the sideshow characters was really sweet. Not everybody was as fully realized as everyone else. I felt like Lulu, who was like the fat lady in the sideshow, she didn't feel as multidimensional as some other characters did. So, you know, it's not great. I don't know. I just thought it was lovely. Like, what a nice story. And like, what a wide range of queer representation in this book. Like, that was such a nice surprise. Like, I thought it was just going to be like this romance, but there was another, like, not a romance, but like another couple, like multiple queer men, a character who, without having the term like self-described as what we would call non-binary now, like the way their existence was described. And I would even say that Benny is probably like demisexual, like somewhere on the ace spectrum, just with the way he feels or doesn't feel, like his history with sexual attraction. So anyways, like, lovely. And it's not a full 5 because Lulu felt a little one-dimensional, and I didn't love the ending. There is a lot of ambiguity to the ending, which I respect. Like, I dig it. I don't need everything tied up into a little bow. In this instance, not having it all wrapped up into a little bow does feel like I got cheated out of an HEA, like just a little bit, but I mean, that's such a minor critique. Overall, I think it's a really lovely story. If you like historical romance with like a sprinkle of fantasy, I would definitely recommend this book. But you need to be going into it expecting historical fiction and understanding that the only magic is that Rio is a merman. So like, if you go in with appropriate expectations, I think it's absolutely lovely. All right, and with that, we are gonna wrap up this vlog so that I don't have to talk anymore. And also because I feel a fight brewing between 2 of my children. My mom's spidey sense is tingling. So not my most successful ketchup and pickles vlog, but definitely a very successful clearursht, I think, just overall as a month. I loved getting to focus on my unread TBR and hope I can continue with that into July and not just kind of like fall off into a pile of library books, but we'll see. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for hanging out with me and spending your precious time with me. If you want to leave an emoji to let me know you made it to the end of the video, let's do a merman or mermaid emoji, and otherwise, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll talk to y'all in the next one. Bye!